my gosh, I don't know, 4 years maybe. And so a Marine wife contacts me, and she wants to schedule a session for her husband. Her husband's Marine Corps Special Forces. So I said, sure, that's wonderful. That's fine. And he's just hesitating, and okay, we get that. I get it. And what she does is, so she shows him that picture, because I have it posted on my social media. She shows him the picture, and he looked at it and he goes, oh my God, I know exactly where this is. He goes, this is the Valley of Death. And wow. So, so now we've crossed from Army to Marine Corps, that they both, I mean, he immediately identified, knew where it was. And I'm like, I'm sitting here going, okay, what I drew looks like a cartoon. It doesn't have that kind of meaning for me, but yeah, it's kind of cool. Anyway, enough about me. How are you?
Okay. That is amazing. But how willing people are to open up when it comes to being in the military and their experiences.
Not everybody is willing.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. And there's, this is a private part of your life. But for people who are interested in this kind of thing, then yeah, I'm your girl, like I'm here to help. So
have you done more military readings than
civilian?
Yeah, than civilian readings.
No,
it's a good mix.
Oh, gosh, it's a good mix.
Yeah.
It's a good mix. Yeah, and then I was like, the Hounds of Hell. I'm looking over here because I've got it printed out.
And she's gonna read it. I'm making her read it.
So I actually printed that off, and I've given that to several veterans, and whether it's World War II veteran or Iraq, Afghanistan, and I'm talking combat veteran, that understands this, because God bless our veterans. You guys, there's a lot of service that goes on that are not, front lines, like Marines, you got to get paid. And,
it's not
soldiers,
just what
sailors,
we picture.
Airmen. No, there's a lot that goes on. I mean, there's people who cook, and there's, people who are security details, and
nurses, I'm sure.
There's, oh my gosh, the corpsmen, corpsmen up. So yeah, there's all kinds of jobs. So, I extend my gratitude and a heartfelt appreciation for all of our veterans, no matter how they served. But my angels that sat next to me and helped me write the Hounds of Hell had experienced the Hounds of Hell.
So they were frontline.
They were combat. Yeah, no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. So,
wow. So perfect segue. Grab your tissues. We have the Hounds of Hell poem. Actually, do you want to show the original right here?
Oh,
this is how she's recorded it.
So the other day I found, this is like 20 years old.
And it's honestly kept in great condition.
Probably because I put it in a bin somewhere.
Yeah.
I swapped it,
but we have a printed version, which was at the wall in Washington, D.C. and then put where?
Well, it would have been collected and ended up in the Smithsonian.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal.
No. Kidding. I've got works that went to two presidents.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the, that's your shoulders.
Yes. So The Hounds of Hell by Camille Nelson. Baby. The hounds of hell used to wake him from his sleep. The hounds of hell were snarling at his feet. The hounds of hell stole his peace of mind. The hounds of hell were only hounds of time. The time now past would forever leave its mark. The time now past burned its brand on his heart. The time now past, no dimmer than before. The time now past was once a day of war. The days of war live vivid in his soul. The days of war we forget as he grows old. The days of war haunt him as no other. The days of war turned strangers into brothers. Beside his brothers, they fought the hounds of hell. Beside his brothers were stories they would tell. Beside his brothers, war ravaged its ugly pain. Without his brothers, he'd never be seen again. Never seen again. No words were spoken here. Never seen again. He seemed to disappear. Never seen again until one day the light. Never seen again until he left the fight. The fight long gone took its toll in his eyes. The fight long gone betrayed truth into lies. The fight long gone grows weary with his hand. The fight long gone screams silently, the band. The band once sealed the fate of brotherhood. The band once sealed a time of greater good. The band once sealed promises to be kept. The band once sealed their weakness as they wept. The weeping still comes and goes as it pleases. The weeping still only begs to find the reason. The weeping now binds like no other. The weeping now is amongst this band of brothers. The band of brothers, their stories fight to tell. The band of brothers defeated the hounds of hell.
Quick pause for that one.
Golf clap.
Lobster claps. That's timeless.
I think so. And I think, you know, it can fit any combat, scenario. And I mean, if you've seen the 1,000-yard stare, 10,000-yard stare, if you've experienced this, if you've seen, as a little girl, seeing my dad wrestle with things and, seeing friends wrestle with things, like, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that my angel veterans were with me that day and wrote that and just told me to put pen to paper, and I did. So
thank you. Thank you. Like she said, thank you to veterans and all who have served in all the different ways that you can.
Yeah.
Did you ever consider joining the military yourself? I've never asked you that question, like in any capacity.
Okay, no. There's no way I could not even make it through day one of boot camp. There's no way I'm making it through boot camp. I would be crying and wanting my mommy.
I'm just convinced though that you can do anything. Like, you're such a badass.
When I was younger, and I mean probably like a little girl, I actually wanted to be a fighter pilot when I grew up.
I can imagine you in here on a plane. I really can.
Pretty cool. I would look pretty cool.
Camille Earhart.
Yeah. I think I'm too short.
Do you have to hit it?
And I'm blind.
Requirement?
I don't know, but I don't think 5'1.5" cuts. And then being legally blind, without my glasses.
Yeah.
You gotta have eagle eye vision. I don't know. And again, you have to get through boot camp.
Yes. No matter which branch.
No, I always felt like I would be the support.
Okay. Yeah. Did you always know somewhere deep down, I guess even if you didn't know it, that you would marry and be with somebody in the military the rest of your life? Whether it was Marine, sailor, any kind of branch?
I don't think I knew that. I don't think I knew that until the one night when I met Eric.
Yes. And the rest was history.
him.
Was he dressed in his,
No, dress blues.
I was going to say, would it be dress blues? Could you tell right away that he was a Marine, or did he tell you that?
Oh no, I knew. Oh my God.
And your heart's like, oh,
I knew there's no way. So Eric is 6'2" and he's got a flat top.
Oh,
his
hair. That's
top.
true.
Yeah,
that gives it away.
There was not a doubt in my mind he was a Marine, but we also met near a Marine base. So, but yeah, no, we've been together since the night we met.
Maybe we'll get him on here one day.
We can hope.
Yeah.
So, so one of the things, let's see, we've only got a couple minutes left. Should we? So you guys know that I've worked in hospice, and loved hospice.
I think that's one of the biggest parts of your life.
Oh my gosh, it was definitely one of the biggest blessings of my life. Is working in hospice and managing, helping the volunteers, and the volunteers being able to, I mean, we were just there for support, again, support role, fine with me. So we had, there was Bear. I love Bear. So the nurses come to me one day and they said, we've got a Marine who's on the unit. And I went, oh my gosh, I have to go meet him.
I got to rush to him. Yeah.
So Bear was wonderful. And I walked in and I introduced myself and I said, hey, I've got 4 Marines in my family, and I've got military in my family all the way back to the Revolutionary War. And so introduced myself, and he's like, oh, okay. He couldn't remember Camille. It's not a common name.
Yeah.
And so I said, all right. I said, if you need me, just ask for Marine Girl. And I said, the nurses will know who that is.
Yeah.
And
that's very smart, actually.
So we ended up talking a couple times. I'd go in his room and visit, and his wife is there. And he was a Vietnam veteran, and he started telling me stories. And so you can't be afraid of colorful language if you're anywhere near military. And to say cuss like a sailor, you haven't met a Marine.
That should be a sign.
And not all, we have anyway. So he's using language, and his wife was just mortified, and she's like, oh no. And she's like, she's a lady.
And you're like, you don't have to worry about me.
That's it. And I said, no worries. It's okay. It's all good. So, so we kind of bonded. And then one day, during one of our visits, I think it was one of the very first days, on my way out, we're saying goodbye, and I said, okay, I'll be back. And one of the last things that he said to me was, I'm walking out the door, and he goes, Marine Girl. And I turn around and I'm like, yes. And he goes, I got your 6. And I looked at him and I said, Bear, I got yours.
Oh, I feel like you all should have fist bumped after that.
And Bear was a nickname, so I'm not violating any confidentiality laws. And Bear was a nickname from when he was in the Corps. And at one point I had said, all right, Bear. And he looked at me and he goes, you just call me Bear? And I said, yeah, I just called you Bear. And he goes, okay. And he goes, you can call me Bear. Nobody else can call me Bear. And I was like, all right, love you too, Bear.
So he didn't tell you that was his nickname?
He did.
Oh, okay.
He did. He had told me that. He told me that. And so, but I that's how I called him. Mm-hmm. That's how I addressed him. So, and very quickly, after I found out that he had crossed over, which was a sad day. The nurses got to hold me that day. Very quickly, there were Marine signs everywhere. So like bumper sticker, like right in front of me. And we have our round Marine Corps sticker. You guys know what I'm talking about, if you're a Marine. And then I get a bouquet of flowers came in, and it was red and gold flowers.
Wow.
And then the blue, there's an American flag, and I just kept getting goosebumps, and I'm like, all right, you made it safely, but one of my favorite veterans is a World War II Marine. And I remember, this is before hospice. I remember finding out he was in the hospital, and he was actively dying. And I went to go visit him, and his wife had to leave the room. A nurse came in. I asked for a sponge with water, for his mouth. And so the nurse leaves, and I lean down to him, and he's not responding anymore, but I know he can hear me. So I leaned down to him, and I said, we love you. And I said, Marine, you have new orders. And I swear I felt him flinch. And I said, your orders are to go guard those gates. And he died within the next 2 hours. And we know this, Marines guard the gates of heaven. What is it if the Army and the Navy ever look on heaven's scenes?
Yeah.
They will see the gates are guarded by United States Marines. I mean, got to keep the bad guys out, right?
Oh my God.
So, but telling him, here's your final set of orders. And then I go in, and I get in the car, and I leave, and that song from Toy Story, You've Got a Friend in Me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I sobbed the whole way home.
Oh my God.
So, but anyway,
So
there's
you
lots
think
of these stories.
He needed to hear that it was okay.
It's time to go.
Yeah.
And to know that you have a new duty. You're being called up for duty. Let's go.
Do you think that really speaks to service people? Servicemen, like, instead of it's okay, we love you, we're gonna be okay. It's you have new orders, you have a duty. And they're like, okay, got it. I know what that means.
I think so. We actually have a couple of illustrations for that. So we had a Marine in hospice who was really not responding, and not opening his eyes, when being talked to, and not sitting up in bed anymore, and just having issues. And the nurses said, Camille, there's a Marine in room so-and-so. And I said, okay. So, and they said, I don't know if you can do anything because he's not responding to us. He won't open his eyes. He won't speak to us. And then I said, I got this, and I was like, so I walk in, and there were probably 3 other people in the room with us. And I saw him, he's laying in bed, he's got his eyes closed. And so I said, can he hear me? And they had said yes. So I walk up, and I get right by him, and I go, sir. And his eyes start to flutter. And I said, sir, I hear you're a United States Marine, sir. And his eyes open, and he goes, yes, I'm a Marine. And I said, sir, on behalf of the name of our company of Hospice. And I said, my name's Camille. I have 4 Marines in my family. I said, I would like to thank you for your service. And he sat straight up. And and I said, Semper Fi. And he looked at me, and he said, Semper Fi. And then the nurses were able to help take care of him, because now he's up. Responded like that.
Like, wow. They need to keep you on their contact list.
So
Wow.
yeah, that was, and then there was, so in another story, there was, we knew he was a veteran. So one of the staff came and got me and said, look, he is unresponsive. And he's not to the point where there's no hope for him to respond anymore, but he had family that could not get out to be with him.
Okay.
So if you're thinking the last few years, we had all kinds of restrictions in place, right? So could not get to him. And we were determined that this man is not going to die alone. So one of my friends came and got me and she said, what can you tell me about him? Because we want to minister in these last moments and we want to give him the best possible. And I said, okay. So I walk in and he's still alive, but I walk in and I'm immediately pulled to we had CD players and it was playing, and I'm like, what is in this CD player? And I look and it's like religious music. And I go, no, this does not work for him. I mean, immediately I saw him and I know he's Navy. I saw him in his dungarees. I knew he's Navy. And I go, what else is there? And every CD that we had was religious music.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, no. And so that's when I said, you need to find patriotic music. If any kind of patriotic music, play it. I said, I want every hymn from every branch of service. And I said, and you start with Anchors Aweigh. And I said, he's Navy, right? And, and she goes, oh, I think he's Army. And I'm like, okay, you go ahead and check on that. Let me know later, So I said, it's got to be Anchors Aweigh. And then, I walked over to him and I held his hand and I thanked him for his service. And then I got more information and he was telling me which nurse was his favorite. He thought she was an angel. And to please don't call him Mr. So-and-so. He wanted to be called by his first name. And they said, really? And I said, look, when you're getting ready to pass, like, you want to be with people who know you. Yeah. You want to be with somebody who loves you, or this is such a sign of respect that we would call him by his first name because it's personal. If we're calling him Mr. So-and-so, that's not,
it's very formal.
It's and that's not a connection between two people. Right. And he wanted his hand held and he wanted to be close. So I go home and later that night I get a text. Okay, he's Navy. And I'm like, I know.
The lightest, I told you so.
I told you so. So being able to actually communicate with people who can no longer communicate, whether they're on this side or the other side, is just, yeah.
I'm sure that meant so much to the family who couldn't come see him too.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
probably.
To have somebody there who is going to honor him in both lives and
speak his language.
Yes. Yes. To him, that probably feels like there is family around him.
Yeah. Yeah. And he left, I'm also a Reiki practitioner. So I held his hand, I sent him good vibes, and he passed very peacefully and quietly. And, the way we kind of all hope to go is quietly. But anyway.
Painless. Yeah.
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 So.
Well, thanks for sharing those stories.
Okay. Hopefully this recorded.
Yeah, hopefully with sound.
Guys, we tried so long and we did not have sound. Yes. So we had to try again.
I think this time, it worked. My time's a charm.
Okay, angels, you better have made it. So if you're still with us, because this has been a long one.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate you guys for being with us and listening to the stories and putting up with our microphone. Can you hear me now?
Good. I remember that commercial. Well, if you guys want to see or hear anything specific about Camille and some of the people she's read and interacted with, you can put that in the comments.
Yes, please like, comment, subscribe,
and we have her contact information through Instagram, YouTube, anywhere else.
Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I'm
I was
also
thinking.
hello@militarymedium.net. I'm at militarymedium.net. On Facebook, I am Military Medium. Instagram is the Military Medium because, you know.
Who else, right?
I am
Who
the
else?
queen. Have you met me? There's another nod to Lynn. Yeah, those are all ways that you can get in touch with me. So
yeah. Thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you so much for being with us.
And we'll see you next week.
Yes.
Yay.
We did it.